Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm the Anime Top Scholar, and it's already been an entire year since I started uploading videos to this channel. I originally only planned to make the Megalobox video that was the first video I ever uploaded to this channel, but I really enjoyed making that video, so I stuck with it. It's been a fun ride with lots of ups and some downs, but at the end of the day, I'm really glad that I kept going. So in order to celebrate my 1 year of making videos, I thought I would do something special. So today, I'm going to be talking about a show that I've been wanting to talk about since pretty much when I started making videos, but never got around to making anything that I was happy with. Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite anime of all time, Aria the Animation. Aria the Animation is an anime that spans 3 seasons, 1 OVA, and 1 special, spanning a total of 56 episodes. The first season, called Aria the Animation, aired in fall of 2005 and had a new release every year up until 2008, with a final 3-episode special, called Aria the Avenir, being released in 2015. It's based on a manga by the same name, written and illustrated by Kosue Amano. The anime was produced by Studio HAL Filmmaker, with Aria the Avenir, the special that ended the series, being produced by Studio TYO Animations. It was directed by Junichi Sato, who has also directed shows like Sailor Moon and Amanchu, another anime based on a manga by Kosue Amano. The story of Aria the Animation follows a character named Akari Misunashi. She is a happy and easygoing 15-year-old girl who has traveled from the planet Man home, aka the Earth, all the way to the planet Aqua, which is a terraformed version of Mars. Specifically, she has moved to Neo Venezia in order to become an Undine, which is a tour guide of sorts, but they take tourists around in their gondolas. Akari is accepted into training at Aria Company by Alicia Florence, who is one of the 3 water fairies, famous on Neo Venezia as one of the 3 greatest Undines. There, she will be studying to become an Undine herself. While she is there, she ends up befriending Aika Granchesta, a 16-year-old Undine in training at Himea, the oldest and second-ranking water guide company in Neo Venezia. She later also befriends Alice Carroll, a 14-year-old girl who's training to become an Undine at Orange Planet, who is the number 1 ranked water guide company in Neo Venezia. Together with these characters, we get to tour around Neo Venezia, go on treasure hunts, and just enjoy the calming and relaxing atmosphere that surrounds this city where time can feel like it's standing still. Aria is what we would call an Iyashikei anime, Iyashikei meaning healing. So what that essentially means is that Aria doesn't try to add a bunch of heavy drama or action to its narrative. It mostly focuses on being a relaxing show that you can watch an episode or 2 of before going to bed. Kinda like Mushishi, if you're familiar with that show. Now, that's not to say that there's no drama present in this story at all, but it's very minor and mostly very personal to the character that is the focus of those episodes. No, instead what Aria focuses on is the daily lives of these girls trying to become Undine. We get to spend time with them as they practice and go about their day. We follow them on small adventures like a treasure hunt that leads them all over Neo Venezia, or a trip to an Inari shrine located outside the city, and even get to enjoy some urban legends come to life. Aria is very grounded, despite its sci-fi/fantastical setting. I mean, the entire thing takes place on a Mars that has been terraformed into a water planet. We have spaceships, weather control stations, and mystical events with no logical explanation, but it all plays nicely together with the calming and grounded everyday life of the characters. And especially the more mystical things often plays out so that Akari learns more about Neo Venezia and even herself. There are also plenty of references to everything from Venetian legends, like the tale of the girl who was never buried, to Cat Sith of Celtic folklore, and even an episode based on the popular classic Japanese fantasy novel Night on the Galactic Railroad, written by Kenji Miyazawa. There's honestly so much to love in this show, even though the story it presents us with is very basic. Because we are told that Akari and the other girls are trying to become Undine at the start of the show, and we know that by the end, they will most likely succeed. But that's not the point of the show. It's not about getting from A to B as fast as possible. It's about stopping and smelling the roses along the way, and treasure the experiences you had and the people you got to know along the way. Like I said earlier, in this series, our main character is Akari Mitsunashi. She's a 15-year-old girl who came to Aqua from Man Home in order to become an Undina. She works at Aria company and studies under the prima Undina Alicia Florence. Akari is a very happy and easygoing girl who has no problem saying the most embarrassing lines out loud, even though her friends, and in particular Aika, doesn't like her doing so. There isn't really that much special about Akari. However, she does have one ability that no one else has. She has the ability to make friends with anyone. Akari generally likes to talk to and get to know people, and she does not judge a book by its cover. This makes her incredibly approachable, and we often see other minor and background characters in this show respond to her kind and approachable nature. She also still has her childlike sense of wonder, and because of this, she sometimes finds herself dragged into some of the mysteries surrounding Neo Venezia. Up next, we have the first friend that Akari makes in Neo Venezia, apart from Alicia, and that's Aika S. Granchesta. She is a 16-year-old Undina in training, studying under Akira Ferrari at the second-ranking water guide company in Neo Venezia, called Himea. Aika is the only daughter of the owners of Himea, which makes her the heir to the company, but she does not like the distinction that much. Aika is very blunt and tends to speak her mind. She is also a huge fan of Alicia and often laments at how she is stuck training under a mean senpai like Akira, when she would much have preferred to study under Alicia. Yet despite this, she still likes and really cares for Akira, who has been there for her pretty much her entire life. The third and final girl of this little group of trainees is Alice Carroll. She is a 14-year-old girl who studies to become an Undina under Athena Glory at the #1 ranked water guide company in Neo Venezia called Orange Planet. Alice is still in middle school and has to balance training to become an Undina with going to school. She appears very standoffish and doesn't seem to be too interested in making friends with others at first. But as our two main characters get to know her more, we learn that she is mostly just a quiet girl, and the more time she spends with Akari and Aika, the more she starts to brighten up. We also learn that she is quite the prodigy, which is why she was recruited by Orange Planet despite her young age. Being a prodigy isn't always great though, as we see that some of the other employees and trainees at Orange Planet has a hard time talking to her as they don't quite know how to handle her. Which leads to Alice often being alone with Athena if Akari and Aika aren't around. Now, let's talk a bit about the three water fairies in this show. Up first we got Alicia Florence. She is Akari's senpai and works for the tiny water guide company Aria Company, as the only Undina at the company. She is known by her title Snow White, which was given to her when she became an Undina, and she is often considered the most skilled of the three water fairies. At the start of the show, she is 19 years old, and she holds the record for the youngest Undina to be promoted to Prima, at the age of just 15 years old. Alicia, just like Akari, is very relaxed. She doesn't really ever get mad at people, but it's not because she doesn't care. It's because she doesn't believe that there is a need to yell or get angry at people who knows when they've made a mistake. She is very mature and acts like an older sister/mother type to the younger trainees, especially Akari. Alicia is also famous for her graceful rowing style, and she places a lot of importance on the customers being able to relax. The second of the three water fairies is Akira e Ferrari, also known as Crimson Rose, which is her Undina name. She is 20 years old and works at Himea as the supervisor, and she is Aika's senpai. She is loud and brusque, and she can be particularly hard on Aika. This has led her to get the nickname of Demon Instructor by the other Undina in training. But despite her attitude, she really cares for Aika and the others. The reason why she is particularly strict with Aika is because Akira herself was the last of the three water fairies to become Undina, and she doesn't want the same to happen to Aika. On the job, Akira is famous for her conversational skills, and she has an intimate knowledge of all the sites around Neo Venezia. She is also very popular with her female customers. Up next, we have the third water fairy, Athena Glory. She is 21 years old and works at Orange Planet and acts as Alice's senpai. However, she is not really a reliable senpai to Alice, as Athena is quite the airhead and tends to make a lot of silly mistakes. This often angers Alice, but despite this, they are very close. For while Athena isn't the most reliable of the three water fairies, she does everything she can to help Alice in any way she can think of, even if it doesn't always go as planned. What separates Athena from all the other Undine, however, is her angelic voice. She often sings for her customers, and she places a lot of importance on keeping her customers entertained. She also sings for Alice when she is feeling down, as it tends to cheer her up. Because of her fantastic voice, she was given the name Seiren when she became an Undine. Just like Akari, Aika, and Alice, the three water fairies also used to train together when they were training to become Undine. Though Alicia and Akira have known each other for most of their life, Athena came to befriend them when they were trainees. Last but not least, I want to give a quick mention to the presidents of the three water guide companies. Their names are Aria, Hime, and Ma. And they are, well, they're cats. Basically, in Neo Venezia, it is tradition for companies to have a mascot that serves as the president of the company, and traditionally, the president is a rare cat with aqua blue eyes. They don't serve all that much of a purpose in this show. They were mostly included because the mangaka Kosue Amano likes cats, and the three cats in Aria are based on her and her assistant's cats. Now, I really have to talk about the music in this show. It is quite literally one of my favorite parts about the show, and quite possibly my favorite soundtrack in anime. Period. This soundtrack was made by Takeshi Seno and Choro Club. It consists of choro music, which is a popular Brazilian instrumental type of music, as well as some soothing piano. These are often accompanied by other string instruments, like violins. This combination gives the soundtrack of Aria just enough of that relaxing and calming feeling that really boosts the show, while also making it feel kinda exotic. And I like that, since it's not only set in a recreation of Venezia, but a recreation of Venezia that is located on a terraformed Mars, now known as Aqua. Both of these worlds of music comes together to make an almost perfect soundtrack in my eyes. But what really tips it that extra mile is the inclusion of some insert songs by the amazingly talented Tomoko Kawakami, rest in peace, who's the voice of Athena. Her voice is just incredible, and the song Barcarolle that she sings in the series is amazing. Just listen to this.
We buffalo senza de mia qua tuda qua si faru boccolo nan fa de mia qua tu la una de mia.
Absolutely amazing. That song is also made up of entirely made up words and not sung in any language, which doesn't really mean anything, but I think it's a neat little addition. I honestly can't praise the soundtrack for this series enough. It is in my opinion the perfect soundtrack to this series, and I'm so glad I got to experience it. Now, in case it wasn't already incredibly obvious by my gushing about this show, or the fact that I called it my favorite show in the beginning of the video, I absolutely love this show. The slow-paced nature of it, the lovable and quirky characters, I love just about everything about this show. From the embarrassing lines that Akari will say, to every ara ara uttered by Alicia, the impact that these silly girls had on me and how they managed to create a connection with me, despite not being real people, was something that I just didn't expect going into it. When I started watching this show, I thought I'd already experienced all the shows that I would hold in the highest regard for the rest of my time watching anime. But along comes this show and just blows me away. I am 100% biased when I say this, but to me, Aria is the best show ever. It joins a very exclusive list of shows that have managed to make me cry, which only 2 other shows have done before it. But unlike those 2 shows, Aria made me cry more than once. Also, Aria is not really a sad show. Sure, there are emotional points, but it's generally not about trying to make you sad, as much as it wants you to reminisce about the time you've spent with these characters and all the fun you've had. Saying goodbye to these characters was for me like saying goodbye to some of the best friends I've ever made. It's hard, but life goes on, and it will eventually take us in different directions. That's just another part of growing up. And the fact that Aria managed to spur those feelings in me says a lot about how good this show is in my opinion. I certainly have never felt this attached to any other piece of fiction, not just anime. I'm gonna repeat myself one last time before I end this video. I fucking love this show. It's my #1 favorite anime of all time, and I don't think anything is gonna change that. It hit me in a way that no other anime has ever hit me. But that's enough about how much I love this show. I think you get it by now. But one final thing I want to say before I end this video is thank you. Thank you to everyone who has watched a video of mine, liked, commented, and subscribed. What was originally a plan I had to only make one video ended up with me making videos for an entire year, and I've had a blast doing so. I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos I've put out, and I hope you will keep watching the videos that I will put out in the future as well. So now that that's out of the way, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more anime related content from the Anime Top Scholar himself. Peace.